Happy lunch hour, gang. All right, question for you. How much do you kind of take for granted the fact that when you wake up in the morning and look over your shoulder that the clock's working, that when you throw the light switch that the lights come on? It's something we do almost mindlessly at this point. We just automatically assume the power is going to come on, right? Now, we're going into the throes of winter here. I mean, we're a week before Christmas at this point. It's winter. And in a lot of places, there's snow on the ground. I saw something that New Mexico got completely dumped on here in the last couple of days. It gets cold. Hey, Texas, remember that from a couple of years ago? When it got real cold, power went out. 250 or about 250 people died. I mean, freezing to death, guys, is not exactly a pleasant way to die. Not that I have any experience in doing it, of course, but being cold sucks. We all know that. All right. Well, a couple of things we want to pay attention to on this one. This week, the First Court of Appeals in Houston, Texas, ruled that utility companies have no obligation to provide you power. Sorry, it's cold. No big deal. There was a lawsuit. People were trying to sue for recourse against the power companies because, I don't know, people died, pipes burst, whatever, that the utility companies failed in their mission to provide energy. And the court ruled that, sorry, you have no grounds for your case. They don't have any obligation to provide you power. Okay. Now, I'll give you this. We can't go blame the court on Obama or Trump or Biden because the justices in the First Court of Appeal in Houston are all elected. So if they want to blame anybody for this decision and how it came down, and blame the voters of very, very blue Houston. Okay. So we get into the question of why. Well, of course, we know that the grid is, held together with chewing gum and aluminum foil. Can't handle some strong winds, can't handle a storm, can't handle some cold or whatever. But we're all supposed to go to this beautiful green energy stuff, right? And Texas was part of that. Hey, we're going to do solar, we're going to do wind. And all of a sudden we didn't have the capacity. And, you guys were telling me about $1,000 electric bills. And I read stories back then about people that had tens of thousands of dollars on electric bills because the Texas utilities had to buy all sorts of power from other places just to provide the power for the people that still could get it. Let's put it that way. So it brings up the point again of what are your plans for backup power? And I'm not talking about getting into solar energy or windmills or whatever. I want to go into a little bit about how far gone this idea of renewables is. Okay. Texas proved in 2021 that renewable energy is not reliant enough to keep people warm in a cold spell. Germany's proved it over and over and over again that they can't provide the power to the people off their solar farms. Oh my God, it snowed. What are we going to do? There's snow all over our solar panels. Oops, nobody ever thought of that. It's like everything else. It's like communism. It works great on paper. It doesn't work in the real world. Okay. It's a great supplement for reliable energy, but it is not a reliable energy. And we know that. Okay. I told you guys, a month or so ago about the coal plant they're shutting down outside of Baltimore that heats, or that provides electricity for about 1 million households. And they want to convert it all to solar. Well, to provide the same kilowatt hours, they have to have an 11 square mile solar field. Oh, and it can't ever be cloudy and it can't ever rain. Okay. Yeah, doesn't quite work too well. Well, of course, we hear all the tree huggers, the environmentalists, the loony left, you know, we're going to go to all electric vehicles. We're going to be carbon zero. We're going to, all that sort of crap, right? Okay. You got the people gluing their hands to the streets or throwing paint on, classic paintings. I don't know if you saw a couple of days ago, I guess in Germany, there was a uh, concerted effort between a bunch of these radical groups to put spray paint all over city Christmas trees. The big Christmas tree that's in the middle of the town square. I guess they hit 11 of the big cities and destroyed the Christmas trees because, climate change. We've got to stop oil, right? So I got a question. Why is it that all these protesters are protesting in Western nations? Why is it that all the changes have to be made in Western nations? Gee, you guys have too good of a life. We need to bring you down a notch or two. What does that sound like? Globalism? Okay. I'll give you this. The war on coal that we know. Remember Hillary Clinton? We're going to destroy the coal industry. This was at Joe Biden, the same thing. Okay. Want to get rid of coal? Okay. The International Energy Agency came out on Friday with its Coal 2023 report. I want to give you this. This will tell you how much the world is thumbing their nose at these environmentalists while we have these idiot leaders like Macron and Schultz and Biden and Trudeau and everybody going, we got to go green. We got to go green, right? Okay. The global demand for coal in 2023 went up 1.4% over 2022, surpassing 8.5 billion tons for the first time ever. So we are now using more coal to generate power now than we ever have done in history. But we've got to go green, right? Want to take a guess where all that's coming from? Here's a long shot for you. China's coal use went up 8% this year. India's coal use went up 5% this year. China is now using, get this, half of the coal in the world to generate electricity. Okay. Your three largest coal producing countries in the world ain't the United States, not anymore. Okay. China, India, and Indonesia. China is building a coal plant or opening a coal plant every day. And yet we're all told we've got to get rid of our ceiling fans, get rid of our gasoline powered vehicles, our gas stoves, our fireplaces, our wood stoves, our ovens, whatever, because, we're damaging the planet. Yet the United States has the cleanest energy in the world, okay, because so much of ours comes from nuclear, from hydropower, from whatever we use an alternative, and the natural gas, all clean, okay? Coal, which only accounts for about 20% of our electricity. Coal accounts for more than 70% of the power in China. Yet, every time you hear one of these climate summits or whatever, the Paris Accords or the Kyoto Protocol or whatever we had, China's a developing nation. We have to let them get up, right? We have to send more money to the people in Africa so they can get power, where China's building coal plants. Okay. This is the thing. Have you guys realized how much we, the West, is subsidizing our enemies to save the planet? Okay. Think about this. While China is building all these coal plants to power their people, they're also building solar panels, solar generators, batteries, windmills that they're selling to us retail, okay, making the profit from it, because mind you, that's where they're mining most of the lithium too, okay, and using it to create an infrastructure of sustainable energy while they're selling us and profiting upon the unsustainable energy. We are doing this to ourselves as a country, as a hemisphere, and destroying our own infrastructure and building theirs. We're giving them all the tools to take us over. And again, like I've said many times, it's not going to be boots on the ground or missiles coming over. They're just going to take us over economically. They're going to take us over with anything that is simple. Gee, you just don't have any more power. You just don't have any more fuel. Because the fools that we have running this country, we can't drill for oil. It'll damage the environment. Well, a new coal plant gets built on the other side of the world every year. There's going to be a day. It's, nobody can tell you when. Okay, it's like the guy holding up the sign says the end of the world is near. It is, and every day he gets closer. Can't tell you what day it is. Okay, but every day it gets closer. But there is going to be a day when all of a sudden the lights go out, and there ain't no way to turn them on for most of the people. But the question comes in: how prepared are you for when, in the middle of January, when it's 11 degrees outside, and you throw that light switch in the morning and the lights don't come on? What are you going to do?